Cowboy Campfire, where we are talking about westerns, westerns we love, and westerns that are new to us. I chose the first one. Stig chose this one, which is the Wild Bunch. And speaking of Stig, all the way from the north, all the way from a very, very cold place, the Viking himself, Stig Kenobi, is back.
Hi.
Hey, how's the future?
Well, it's dark outside. It's night. So unless it stays completely dark, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, maybe you'll have the northern lights.
Yeah, it's the time of year now.
Well, it's good to know that the world hasn't ended yet, that we always get an update from the future when we have Stig on. So, the Wild Bunch. Now, what was it that made you want to choose this one, Stig?
Classic. And you hadn't seen it.
Nope.
Which was shameful. And yeah. Figured this one would be a good one to get through.
Yeah, I watched it with the family. We had an interesting reaction to it. I wasn't entirely sure I liked it, but the more I think about it, the more I like it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's a very rewatchable Western.
Well, it seemed to me when I watched it, it seemed to me to be a little bit slow. Like I was thinking they could have cut out some stuff, and maybe they would have if they'd have made it today. And it's not because I have some sort of weird short attention span or anything. It's more that they lingered like sometimes way long on them just like riding their horses, like when they were leaving that little town in Mexico. And they just walked and they were walking and they were walking, and it just seemed to go on forever. So that to me was just moments that I thought, they might have cut some of that. Now, I'm not talking about the awesome walk at the end, but this was the one in the middle of the movie. And some of the stuff where the guys were with those naked ladies in the wine area, I thought, oh my gosh, that was a little much. But there were a lot. Speaking of naked ladies, there were a lot of them. There were. Shirtless, I should say. I don't know.
Well, they're like that in Mexico, apparently.
Oh, apparently, because that's all they were really showing. But to be fair, a lot of them were hookers, so that makes sense that they would be,
I mean, hookers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hookers. I said hookers. Hookers is how they say it in Lonesome Dove. But I digress. Yes, they were hookers. They were horse. And I really liked the main two characters, the one by William Holden and the dude from the Poseidon Adventure. I keep forgetting his name, but he was an Oscar winner. Speaking of which, hello, Charlie Stevenson. Thank you for being here. Camp followers. Yes, that's a nicer way to put it. But they were, the whole premise of it is there was an ambush at the beginning of the movie, which, by the way, the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie were 10 out of 10. The tension that was building up in that first scene, and by the way, there's going to be spoilers here, everybody, where there was an ambush that was set for this gang. There's this gang of outlaws, and they had a tip that there was going to be all this money here from the railroad, and it was an ambush, and the ambush was being led by one of their former gang members who had gotten caught. And I guess that if he was going to be bringing these guys to justice, then he would get out of prison. And they even showed you that prison was not fun. So the tension just builds up because there's a whole bunch of prohibitionists. They're having a Jesus meeting. And at the beginning, they're like, we should have told them. And because they ended up that they were having a Jesus prohibition parade and yelling and singing, what was it? Onward Christian Soldier? I forget what they were singing, this very traditional hymn, Protestant hymn, and they had a band and everything. And they were walking right in front of the bank as the ambush was to begin. And like I said, it just hurt. There were children, there were women, there were, again, some dude playing the clarinet, and then all hell broke loose. Oh my gosh. There was a poor guy playing the tuba that got taken out. Loads of those people were trampled. And so and some of the gang members were killed, but it wasn't. It was just really bad. It seemed like there were more civilians that were killed, and they didn't show any children getting killed. I think that was one of the limits that they had with this. But you saw the children like screaming and being horrified. But
One of the gang members stayed behind inside the bank and started shooting civilians as well.
yes, he was like a batshit crazy. Oh gosh, he went up and he licked the lady. But he ended up getting killed. And to be honest, he had it coming. He was a nutter. And then another dude, he got half his head shot off, and they ended up giving him a one-way ticket, the William Holden's character, to the great beyond. And that was the thing that did happen a lot because they had to do that. Well, because the alternative wasn't very good. Are there Wild Bunches? Says Phil, pray for us with metal. I'll search for Wild Bunch. Or The Wild Bunch. It's on Amazon for $10. Looks like old Ernest is in the cast. Oh, yeah. Everyone's in the cast, yes.
That Tarantino said he considers The Wild Bunch to be a perfect movie.
Well, you can see how he was inspired by some of it.
You could see where Red Dead Redemption 2 was inspired, and 1 and 2 took a lot of inspiration by this from this. I mean, there's even a Dutch in there.
Yes,
and the old guy is literally Uncle from Red Dead, isn't he?
Yeah, he even looks like him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a Javier Escuela in there, definitely.
Yeah, there's a bridge that's the same bridge that they use. I think it's almost picture exact.
It's the bridge they cross and blow up is identical to the bridge separating the U.S. from Mexico in Red Dead 1.
Yes,
probably an homage, but you can see Ben Johnson's outfit is the same as John Marston's.
Oh, hell yeah. And I think it's great. These are things that I didn't know when I was watching Red Dead Redemption 2, or rather playing it. I can see, how do I say this? I used to say that to me, Lonesome Dove was the first truly gritty Western movie, but I hadn't seen this one. I think this one was the first. I mean, they didn't sugarcoat anything.
Oh, they got in trouble too for all the violence. They got a lot of criticism for this movie, but hell yes, this is grittier than Lonesome Dove.
Yes, easily. And they don't sugarcoat the gang. They're kind of bad guys.
Yep.
They're out for number one. They don't really care about the women. At first, I was like, oh, well, they're going to be nice to the women because they're the heroes. It's like, no, they don't care. Oh, here's a whore. Okay, I'll take her.
Yeah, they're the protagonists, but they're not heroes.
But you found yourself drawn into them. Again, William Holden's character. I don't remember these characters' names. I remember more the actor, but there was a lot of dialogue between him and the other dude that just, I don't know, you just couldn't look away from. You just were really moved by these people, even though I think they knew that they were on a one-way trip almost from the beginning. And I guess I should have seen it coming. I didn't think that they were all going to die at the end. Again, we do have spoilers from this. But now that I look back, it's like, oh yeah, they knew. But they kept going forward anyways. So I thought, but some of it was out of loyalty.
Yeah, William Holden's character was named Pike.
Pike. Oh, thank you. Yes, I can say Pike instead of keep getting William Holden.
Yeah. The other guy was Deke.
Yep, Pike and Deke.
Yeah, on opposite sides. And then was Dutch and Tector and Lyle and Angel in the gang.
Oh, yes, an Angel or Angel, depending on if you were Mexican or a gringo. They use that word a lot in there, saying it. He, oh my gosh, ran across his ex, who was the woman of this general, and he just blows her to hell. See, that was the other thing. I was like,
yeah, he just shot her.
Yeah.
Shudder in a rage.
And he yelled a very, very bad word in Spanish for a woman that you don't like. But
I
so
think it was puta.
I swear, Stig, if you get me in trouble, I'm going to kill you. But yes, that was the word. I knew what the word was, and it was that's a really, really bad word. So she had it coming. Maybe,
Which she would
maybe.
have done many times given her profession.
Oh, or she would have had someone else because hookers. It's only it's only people that romanticize it that think that the hookers enjoyed it. They pretend they're the ultimate fakers. But yeah, that scene was pretty intense, and even the general guy didn't seem to be too pissed off about it. It's like, oh, it's his ex. Oh, okay. Oh, whatever with these guys. The general people, okay, I'm not sure I quite understood what was going on, like what they were trying to get out of them. Now I know they did a deal with some arms or something. Were they just trying to get money, or what were they trying to get from the general?
Money.
It's just money. Okay, because I was just trying to think. It's
Yeah, I
like
think
what
so.
yeah. So what were they planning to do? You see, that's something that was in the back of my head the whole time. Is where were they going to go after all this? I mean, could they stay in Mexico? Were they planning to? They couldn't go back to America. They could never go back to America after what happened.
No, it was kind of like what with Red Dead. They were going from one score to the next.
Yeah.
And they were going for like this one last big score because they were getting older.
Yeah.
But I think they knew that it wasn't going to end well.
Yeah. And it didn't end well in a very classic scene. Angel he was captured by them because they thought that he had stolen part of it, but actually that was part of the deal that the gang had made with him, that you can have part of this for your rebellion or something. And they had to kind of let him go, and the gang did that. When they were like, he's a thief, Angel actually kept up with that. He was like, yes, he didn't say no. It was the other people, so he was willing to die to take one for the team. However, the team wasn't having it, and at first I thought they really were going to let him die. It was really graphic. They were dragging him behind a horse, a carriage,
Which
and
you also see in Red Dead when
mm,
Javier is captured on Guarma.
yes,
He gets dragged too, but officials. There's a lot of
mm,
Red Dead stuff in there, or
yes,
rather, there's a lot of Wild Bunch stuff in Red Dead. Hell, the uh, the failed bank robbery at the beginning. Uh,
oh,
that's very much like what we're told happened at Blackwater in Red Dead.
mm, yeah,
Everyone was waiting for them, and granted, they rob a ferry in Blackwater, but the town looks like Blackwater, doesn't it?
yes, I could tell how they were definitely inspired by this. Well, one could argue also the failed bank thing in chapter 4, I believe, of Red Dead Redemption 2. That also
Yeah.
is where some things. Um, okay, Phil Prayfor says it's only bad when you use it in a bad sentence. Otherwise, an exclamation of surprise. I grew up around them, a lot of them. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, there we go. Yeah,
I am vindicated. Thank you, Phil.
the vindicated. Yes. Maybe it's the other. Well, we're not going there with the other one that is always bad. The Wild West, says Charlie Stevenson, 3500 was tamed in the U.S., so they needed to find lawless adventures in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid had to go to Bolivia. And that
Mm.
was, I think they died in 1907.
Mm.
They got gunned down by the Bolivian army. But they, it's a theme in there that it's getting harder and harder to be an outlaw in America. So
Mm.
they go south.
Yeah. And Red Dead Redemption 2 was going to be Tahiti. So how the hell
Yeah.
they were going to get there? Yes. Yeah. So that is definitely a theme of it, that the West was fading, the people were getting civilized, and they just were ready to go. I liked it, even though it was terrible. This is at the end when they realize that they're not going to be able to save Angel. And I actually thought, or Angel, I thought that they were going to just go away because that's what they said. It's like, hey, we can't do anything to save him. And then some dude says in Spanish, I guess he has some girls, and Pike just goes, why not? And they just go and they sleep with a bunch of prostitutes and then come out, straighten out their clothes, and do a walk. Now, I was thinking, oh, Tombstone. I guess you weren't the first, because this was an epic walk that the four of them did as they're walking toward their doom at the end. And it was just very, very cool, very well shot. And then, of course, all hell breaks loose. You can't even really describe the ending battle because just imagine a Quentin Tarantino with a Gatling gun and a bunch of guns and some knives, and it just went bonkers.
Yeah, it was just shoot anything that moved,
Mm.
And it actually has a little scene in there where the hooker gives away a guy that's hiding,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy shoots the guy, and then as he turns around, the hooker shoots him in the back.
Yeah.
So you can't trust anyone in that fight.
No.
Hence the chaos.
And then of course he kills her.
Yeah, and if you look at the characters, the far left you have Ben Johnson. That's John Marston's outfit.
Mm. Yeah.
And number 3 from the left, he's dressed as Dutch. Just has his vest open.
Yeah. Well, we know where they got the inspiration. I mean, and that's fine because, of course, in video games and things, when you have homages and Easter eggs, oof, yeah. And the other two guys were brothers, so
probably the inspiration behind the Calendar brothers that get killed before Red Dead 2.
Mm. Yeah. Charlie Stevenson says Big Jake and the Shootist also share that theme. Oh, okay. Well, it makes sense. When you think about it, a lot of these Westerns were made, the ones especially in the 40s and 50s, they were made only a few decades after a lot of these events happened in real life. It would be the equivalent of like what the 90s is to us. I mean, Wyatt Earp was still alive well into the 20th century.
Humans on average live for about 80 years, right?
If they're lucky.
That means the American Civil War was 3 people ago.
Oh gosh, that's crazy.
It really isn't that long ago.
Yeah. Well, my grandfather, his great grandparents, were in the war. It was a thing. Yeah. Wow. Well, there we are. So.
Yeah, I mean, World War II was just 40 years after the 1800s, right?
Yeah.
So imagine, 40 years from now, that's the 80s.
Oh gosh.
Right? It's not that long.
Well,
and then the 80s was 40 years away from the World War II.
Yeah, you're right. We're about as far away from, oh gosh, World War II. You're right. Oh my gosh. Well, of course, my grandfather, he was in World War II. My great-grandmother, she was born in 1898. So she lived from the time of women always wearing dresses, long hair put up in a bun, corsets, all the way through everything into the 80s.
The American Civil War was in the 1860s, right?
Yes.
So we're as far away from World War II as World War II was from the American Civil War.
Oh my gosh.
Give or take.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not too far off.
Yeah, it really isn't that long ago.
Well, there was a few Confederate vets that actually went to see Gone with the Wind in 1939 for the premiere. Yeah. So we're all fossils like these guys. But one surprise for me was that the big confrontation was not between him and their old gang member. I thought it was leading up to that they were going to have a showdown, they were going to have a duel, they were going to do something, well, something like they had in The Outlaw Josie Wales, maybe, but nope. He got there after the massacre and was like, well, they're all dead. And that was my job. And then he went off, spoiler alert, he went off and became an outlaw again after he got his pardon. And so,
Yeah. Couldn't change his nature.
no. Well, they did not belong in a civilized age. They didn't belong in a civilized world. I thought that was cool.
But holy crap, do they get killed though?
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, yeah.
They're really dead, all of them, and
yeah,
they take out about 100 people
at least.
because there's piles. They shoot the prostitute. I think a waitress or something gets shot. It's just, yeah.
Well, it's the Gatling gun that does it. Big old machine gun that just, fires. I don't know how many bullets it fires a minute, but it was definitely pretty intense. And there was a whole part about the Gatling gun that you were supposed to obviously set it up on a tripod. And the general, when he first got it, he didn't do it and tried to shoot it without it, and just bullets everywhere. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's
So
actually kind of when you see Rambo and Arnold use those big machine guns that are usually mounted on choppers, no, that wouldn't work.
Yeah. But it looks cool for sure.
Oh yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah. Well, and that was also part of it as well, that they were getting for the general Gatling gun. That was something that they stole. And holy crap, was there an amazing train robbery scene? Wasn't that awesome?
Yes, they nailed it.
Yeah. And the way they had horses on the, but I think the horses were okay, right? Didn't they get all the horses out, or was there like one or two that didn't make it?
No, I think the horses made it. Another thing was when they blow up the bridge, right? The actors are on the bridge when it explodes. You see it.
Yeah.
That was stunt work. That was no CGI in 1969. That bridge blows and people are on it and fall into the river.
Yeah. Now, when you say they were on it, was it the actors? Was it really the actors, or was it their stunt doubles that fell in?
Oh, that I don't know. But there's definitely people on that bridge when it blows.
Yeah.
Because that, you can tell if it's dummies and stuff. That wasn't dummies.
Oh, no. Well, I'm surprised people didn't get hurt. I mean, as far as I know, nobody got hurt filming this. But there would be movies. What was it? Ben-Hur. The first Ben-Hur, some dude got killed in the chariot scene. I would, if I heard that somebody had gotten hurt or maimed or even killed filming this movie, I wouldn't be surprised, because you just can't fall off a bridge into a river for fun.
Yeah. Often, if it's sword fights and stuff, people get hurt. I mean, in the Three Musketeers, Oliver Reed actually got stabbed in the neck, and it's in the movie.
I was going to say it wasn't just stabbed. He got impaled. He was on this wheel thing. He's lucky he didn't die in that scene. That was insane.
Yeah. And there was several others. In the Conan movie, the actress who played the warrior lady, Sandal Bergman, she got her finger chopped off. They managed to attach it though, but
well.
And I think Arnold smashed his shoulder, and there was a lot of. I think he got hit by a warhammer.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, there was in this movie a really good scene, and I learned afterwards that the director, what's his name, Sam Peckinpah. Is it Sam Peckinpah? I hope I'm saying that correctly. That he cried at it while they were filming, and it says here that he even had trouble yelling cut. He just wanted it to keep going. He was so in the moment. And it was a scene when the two dudes are by the fire, and William Holden and his friend, I keep forgetting his name, they were by the campfire and they were accepting it, I guess. And the line is that they wouldn't have it any other way. And I guess that particular scene really, really moved the director, and I guess maybe a lot of other people too, because maybe he saw something in himself in it, or that there was something with the characters, but it just all maybe just came together. And sometimes when you have actors as good as William Holden, that, see, what does it say here? It
I
says
think
here,
Peckinpah was an alcoholic, so maybe that was
maybe
a factor.
he related to them a little too much,
Yeah, it could
living that
be.
hard life.
Yeah, it could
Yes.
be.
Yeah. I I I could see crying. I when I've been directing a musical, a stage show, I've cried like where someone just does so well and you're just so proud of them and you're in the moment. But then again, I'm a woman and I cry, but I guess this is what makes a man cry. But in any case, that scene, I guess, is really that's something that a lot of people that they cite for this movie, what makes this movie so great, as well as, of course, the fight scenes and the violence. But I can see how the violence was controversial, because I don't know if I would have filmed it that way. I think in a way, some people felt like it was gratuitous. Like, for example, the fighting at the end, did it really have to be that intense?
Well,
Um,
if you look at the movies that came before, I don't think any Western had been that violent before this one.
no.
Because this was like bloody and it was, tits everywhere,
Yes.
I, that was not a John Wayne Western, was it?
No. Nope. Not at all. I guess he just wanted to show it the way it really was without romanticizing it. I guess sometimes the Wild West had gotten romanticized, that it wasn't a fun place. Especially if you were a woman. I mean, you really had two choices. You could be married or you could be a prostitute, and usually you would die young.
Yeah.
They even showed the consequences of prostitution, like when William Holden's character looks at the hooker and then he realizes, oh man, there's a baby in this room. And the baby was in a little cradle that she was looking after. Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't know. Should they have died? I mean, how do I say this? Should we be sad that they died? Spoiler alert. Because were we supposed to be relating at all to the characters, or were we just supposed to be relating to what they were representing? Because he never allowed us to like them. Every time you almost started to like them, you saw how callous they were.
Yeah, no. I think it was a good showing of how characters are gray, really. You know,
Hmm.
and if people were outlaws back in those days, you probably weren't a good guy. It wasn't a Robin Hood thing, was it?
No. Well, and I would imagine maybe Robin Hood wasn't very Robin Hood.
Yeah. Charlie Stevenson in the chat says it was the beginning of realism in movies that continued into the 70s. Yes, because the 70s were all, anti-government, and the only really hero movies we had in the 70s was Rocky, Star Wars, and the Superman movie.
Mm.
And Star Wars was almost a response to that, because Hollywood had gotten so cynical. I mean, you have the French Connection, where Gene Hackman's heroic character is chasing a bad guy until he catches him and then shoots him in the back as he's running away. And,
Mm.
and Dirty Harry is certainly not a hero. he's an anti-hero.
No. Though you did understand at the end of the first one, especially, that he had this humanity in him, the total disgust he had for that serial killer guy. But yeah,
Yeah.
so well done. Yeah, you're right. And who knows, maybe that's why those films were so successful. Because even though we can maybe look at these movies and analyze them and acknowledge them as works of art, sometimes you just need something to make you smile.
Yeah. There should be room for both.
Yep.
But
Well, and of course, this was definitely not made for children. It is rated R. Like, I was surprised that I saw a rated R movie that was a Western from the 60s. Because usually when we think of them, we think of them almost as cartoonish. And at first I was like, is it rated R because of the violence? And it's like, yeah. And it was also because of we saw a lot of women. It was almost as though they were like, we're allowed to do this now, so we're going to show as many as we can. Like, there were some times where I thought it was appropriate, and sometimes it was just like, okay, we just need to see a woman naked because they were pretty. And maybe that was part of it as well. They did show some women looking very haggard and the way you would look if you were a woman living back then, especially if you had lots of children or if you were a prostitute. But they had a lot of very pretty, very good looking hookers, and that just wouldn't be the case. But I also understand that people want to look at pretty things, and they were very beautiful women.
1969 is probably the year for Westerns, because you had the Wild Bunch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was 1961. Sorry, no, 1969. McKenna's Gold. Paint Your Wagon with Clint Eastwood. I think How the West Was Won is 69, and True Grit.
Oh,
All of those are 1969 movies.
that's crazy. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure I've seen the original True Grit. I've seen the one that the remake, I think. Oof. Yeah. Trying to think, is there any other scenes that we didn't quite get? I mean, there weren't a lot of scenes, but the scenes went on forever. that was the thing. That's where I thought maybe cut it down a bit, maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, it was. Some scenes kind of dragged on. It's like it has a little bit of a pacing problem.
Mm-hmm.
But the year before we got Once Upon a Time in the West, which is another classic.
Yeah. Well, it was so beautifully shot, though. That's the other thing that I noticed. The cinematography, did that win an Academy Award? It should have. It really showcased how absolutely beautiful the West and Mexico is. Yeah, I thought it did a good job. Now, they did put it into the archives of aesthetically or significant films, I think, in the 90s. So definitely it is now acknowledged as a classic, even despite what maybe some people thought of at the beginning of when it came out, the controversy that came with it. But it was definitely very beautifully shot. And I'll tell you what, I wanted to get into my air conditioning at the end of this movie because everyone was so hot and they were sweaty and they were dirty, and it's like, yeah, that's what it would have been. They didn't have air conditioning or a shower. I think there's one scene where they're in a bathtub, but maybe not. I'm trying to think if there was. Maybe it was when they were staying in that one town. I honestly don't think so.
It was nominated for an Oscar for the screenplay and the score, and for it did win Motion Picture Sound Editors Award and National Society of Film Critics Award for Best Cinematography. So it's not just you that like the camera work.
I can see how they got it with sound, because man, those guns, those was insane, absolutely insane. I mean, Stig, did you have a particularly favorite part of this movie?
Yeah, the massacre at the end.
Oh, of course.
It was amazing. Yeah.
All right. Because interestingly enough, even though I'd been told about that, I still feel like the first opening scene was.
Yeah. Just for the record, it's not that I necessarily like massacres. It was just that one was so crazy and well done.
Yeah. No, it definitely was, and I knew it was coming because everyone had talked about, oh yeah, the ending scene, and then when it happened, it's like, oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, I think that the beginning one was a little different because it was more the tension that built up to the moment, not the actual fighting part. It's that the fact that you knew that those people having the parade were about ready to get slaughtered in, because they were going to be caught in between this battle. But yeah, there's that. And some of the dialogue, I don't know. I like the two main characters. Well, the three main characters, I guess I should say. I mean, those brothers though, they were a little too crazy. They were a little too bad. I couldn't really relate to them, but I guess that's what they were supposed to be. But on the other hand, they still had the code at the end, like this picture shows. I mean, they're going, and look how the Poseidon guy is smiling at the far left. Right, he's ready, and they got their big shotguns. And I like the way they all just kind of smiled. All of them did kind of smile right before they started.
They're using pump action shotguns as well.
You would know that better than I. I do not have a great deal of knowledge about
this. You see the pump thing.
Okay.
But, you know, the guy on the right, on his left arm, you see the pump.
Okay. There it is. See, again, those are just the kind of things that I don't quite notice. But yeah. Now, did I hear that there was some tension in the filming of this, that one of them didn't get along with William Holden, or was it the other way around? See, yeah, tension on the set of The Wild Bunch, because I mean, I can see that when you get a lot of these egos and together, you see, tension on the set of the 1969 film was significant, largely stemming from director Sam, whatever his name is, intense and unorthodox directing style, personality clashes, and the inherent danger of filming complex, action-heavy sequences. Let's see. Oh, they had pyrotechnic issues. Holy moly! In the final shoot,
Peckinpah had lost his shit on the special effects crew because he didn't think the gunfire effects, you know, when the bullets hit the walls and stuff, looked good. So he had actually taken a real gun and fired at the wall next, you know, near the crew, and said, you know, this is the effects I want.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I would be okay with that. Ooh. But hey, that's the way he is. Let's see. Peckinpah was known for his pursuit of a raw, visceral style, including extensive use of slow motion and rapid cuts in violent scenes to make them feel brutally real. While his intense style fueled tension, he also encouraged improvisation from his actors, which could be an unpredictable process. The famous light-hearted bicycle scene was a result of this, which led to initial resistance from star William Holden, who felt it would undercut the film's serious tone, though it ultimately worked in the film. Oh, yeah. And the stunts, I guess. The film featured elaborate action sequences, including a major bridge explosion. Hey, that's the one which required precise and potentially perilous stunt work for the cast and crew. Yeah, I mean, we remember watching it when you said it had issues. Yeah, will you Alec Baldwin style? Well, hopefully not, because no one actually died in this. But it does say with the pyrotechnic issue to simulate bullet impact during the final shootout, the crew used real explosives placed near the actors. No, thank you. During one take, a mistimed explosion sent wood splinters flying dangerously close to the lead actors, making them increasingly wary. Yeah. And leading to demands for multiple safety checks. Yeah, I would do that too, to be honest. So they're lucky they didn't end up like an Alec Baldwin movie. Oh my gosh. And I guess that there was even a movie made about the making of the movie.
Yeah, I saw
Wait.
an interview with Ernest Borgnine, who's on the right in the picture. He loved it.
Mm-hmm. No? Okay. Yeah, let's see. Oh, and this is where they're talking about like the realism of them. And yeah, I mean they did not at all like it, rather shy away from it. Now it does say that John Wayne actually did not like the movie, allegedly. So that frankly makes sense. I could see how that would be something that he would not like this. That wouldn't be his cup of tea.
Yeah, John Wayne had given Clint Eastwood shit too.
Oh.
But yeah, it was one of the movies, and John Wayne had looked at him and said, "I wouldn't have shot him in the back." And then he had walked off in disgust.
Oh.
Something like that, because the Clint Eastwood westerns, he's not necessarily as heroic as the John Wayne characters.
Yeah.
John Wayne's usually a clean cut good guy.
Mm. Yeah, true. And
And he did. John Wayne also didn't want his character to do or say cruel things in movies.
uh,
Well, Clint Eastwood never had that problem, did he?
no, not at all. Well, to be fair, or to disagree rather, with John Wayne, he's kind of wrong. I mean, because John Wayne is the way he was in his westerns, and his westerns are classics. I don't want to take anything away from that, but it wasn't very realistic.
Yeah, and they're a product of a different time.
Yeah.
So Clint Eastwood was kind of the shift.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I think everything that was going between the 60s and the 70s, just in general, that, I mean, it it was a transitioning time. Though speaking of which, I didn't bring up those crazy children at the beginning of the movie. Was there a significance to that? They were burning alive a whole bunch of ants with a scorpion, and they were like laughing as they were setting it on fire.
Well, it was kind of showcasing how the gang is the scorpion, and the Pinkertons and everyone else was the ants swarming in close to it, right?
Hmm.
I guess
Yeah.
it could be I'm completely mistaken and reading too much into it, but
Yeah. Or maybe just talking about the brutality of just humanity. Because usually in movies, they used to show children as the essence of innocence.
yeah. Um, Robert E. Howard wrote the Conan books. He was not fond of how civilization was heading.
Hmm.
And there's a quote from him where it says, "Civilized men are more discourteous than savages, because they know they can be impolite without having their skulls split as a general thing. That's true, because there's almost more cruelty in the systems of civilization than they had with the simple rules with savages.
Yeah. Well, and he has a famous quote about that too. And I think he's right that who are the savages and who are the civilized?
Yeah,
So just because you wear a clean suit and clean hair and smile, that doesn't mean that you can't be a demon.
yeah, and it was usually civilization that killed off all the savages. So who's the real savage?
Mm, yeah. Yeah, Robert E. Howard, every time I talk about him, I'm just like, I can't take it anymore because I really, really, really wanted him to not have died the way he did and how young he was because he really got it. He nailed it. And just what he was able to accomplish in his young life. But of course, that was just far
Never,
too
he never gets credit.
no.
It's like a top 10 influential fantasy writers and all that stuff. Howard's never on the list. And he predated Tolkien by, well, a decade if you count the Hobbit as ground zero, which kind of it wasn't. It was supposed to be a standalone children's book that got implemented into Middle Earth later on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And but the Hobbit, sold well for a children's book and all that, but it's not the Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
Tolkien's big impact is the Lord of the Rings, which is from the 50s. Robert E. Howard was doing that stuff in the 1920s, you know?
yeah.
And both of them wrote a fictional prehistory world and mythology for Europe, you know?
Yeah.
They literally did the same thing, but, you know, differently, because Robert E. Howard went the savage way, which is probably between the two, that would probably be the more correct one, wouldn't it? If it's some prehistory stuff, it would be savagery, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, but everyone had their own visions and stuff. But I do agree with what you're saying about Robert E. Howard definitely needs more credit.
Yeah, and fantasy authors, the ones that do get credit, they credit him.
Always. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can't praise him enough. Even Stephen King, I think, was praising Robert E. Howard for his excellent writing style, and you know
Yeah. Yeah. Well, definitely that is owed to those writers and the ones that kind of came before. And I think it's very interesting that Robert E. Howard was starting to also go into writing westerns. So I wonder what he would have written had he lived.
yeah.
That that could have been really good, and I think that he probably would have made those kind of things. Oh boy. But check this out. I'm reading here that Sam Peckinpah would drive his crew so hard that it sometimes created fiction and confrontations between him and certain cast members. And that Holden threatened to walk off set if Peckinpah continued to verbally abuse the crew in his presence. Well, good on Holden for sticking up for the crew.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I said, Peckinpah fired a gun at a wall,
Yeah.
screaming at him, and that's the effects I want, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, with an actor as experienced as William Holden, it probably took a bit for him to put his foot down too.
Yeah. Because they
So
were professionals.
probably it was worse than reported.
Yeah. Well, also according to this, the Robert Ryan threatened to punch the director after he made Ryan spend 10 days in costume and makeup without filming any scenes. I could see that happening.
Yeah, you're just being dressed up, uh, and there's no point to it.
Yeah, just to show a power play. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Oh, it says here body count 145. Oh
yeah,
gosh.
that's pretty high for a western.
And they say
I
that,
don't.
sorry.
I guess some would have a high one. It was like a battle between the army and the natives, right? In some movies, but uh, this is just a gang, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and allegedly 112 of them were the last battle.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Hell,
Now,
there's a lot of them croaking at the beginning too.
oh gosh, yeah. Let's see, what did it say? 22, I think, at the beginning. But then he was like, "You ain't seen nothing yet."
Nope.
Um. Oh, also, allegedly, according to IMBD, the wine vat scene with the hookers, those were real hookers, apparently. He got some local hookers to film that scene. That's interesting, if true. So, well, good times as always. I love talking about these movies. Now, the next one, well, I was thinking of it being Conager, the one with what's his name, Sam
Sam
Elliott,
Elliott.
because I also have the book. But I'm also wondering if I should do another Clint Eastwood one or another kind of classic one that maybe people haven't seen or that I haven't seen. I don't know. So it's still up in the air. Yeah, if anyone in the chat has one that they have in mind, let me know. I'll be thinking about it, but I'll be putting it in the community posts about which
Well,
one we're
you
planning to watch.
could do one of the Dollars movies, Clint Eastwood.
Mm, yeah,
Spread those
fistful.
out a bit. I don't know.
Possible. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Either way, I'm going to be reading the book Conager for sure, and I will be watching it because it's Sam Elliott, and we love Sam Elliott here at the Smart Muses. Well, most warm-blooded women do. And so before, sorry.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, that was just the voice in my head. Sorry about that. So, Stig, before we go into our closing and all that, is there anything else about this film that you would like to talk about that you haven't said already?
No, just everyone watch it. It is a classic. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Um probably became it because of the shift in tone in westerns that it created with the excessive violence and like you said, it was over 100 people getting killed. Like what was 150 something.
Something like
So it marks a shift as well. But it's also still a damn good movie. And like you said, that train robbery is perfectly done.
that. Mm-hmm.
You know, and the cinematography is great. And yeah,
All right.
I,
Well,
I, I think it's a 9 out of 10 because
hmm,
it does have some pacing issues. I thought, you know,
yeah. Yeah. And I found it hard to get into it. It really did. So if you start to watch it, kind of stick with it and
it
it'll
is
kind of start to
better
grow.
on a rewatch.
Hmm. I bet you it will too if you know where it's going and you understand kind of what they're leading to. Because when you go in blind, sometimes you're not sure what you're going to get. Like I knew that it was going to be violent, but I didn't know the type of movie that it was that I was going to be watching. I guess that's what I wasn't sure about and how unique it is to westerns. Because when you really think about it, I mean, is there another western like this one? I mean, not really. I mean,
No,
aspects of it that
well,
people borrowed, but
I
the
think
whole
maybe what comes closest is the Long Riders.
mm, yeah. But that, of course, never became a classic. So
No,
nope. Yeah. Well, so there we are. I guess objectively speaking, yeah, I would have to rate it high. But as far as my enjoyment level, like, hey, as a family, let's all sit and let's watch this, it wasn't high. And my sister and my nephew kind of zoned out more than halfway through it. They were like, yeah, I can't take this anymore. This is too slow. But my brother-in-law stuck through to the end. It was very different than, for example, when we watched The Outlaw Josie Wales, or even we watched Pale Rider together, where pacing is pretty fast. Not as long a movie. This is a bit of a long movie. It's nearly 2 hours and 30 minutes, I think it is. When most westerns don't last that long, so they definitely were. Having a different thing going on. Let's see, Wild Bunch running time, because we were watching it on a DVD, and it was funny because we actually had to flip over the DVD in the middle of it. And it was like, it's been a very long time since they've done that. Talk about being in the primitive world. And of course, we used to think that DVDs were like the cat's meow. All right, it says 145 minutes. So 2 hours, 2 hours and 25 minutes, as opposed to a lot of the movies that only ended up lasting about 90 minutes. And according to this source, it wasn't really a box office success. I can understand why it wasn't.
Yeah, it's kind of became a cult classic and then a classic.
Yeah.
It happened to quite a few movies in the past where Blade Runner is considered one of the best sci-fi movies ever made. That was a flop. It was marketed as an action movie. It's not an action movie. It's a philosophical sci-fi crime movie. But that one now is praised as one of the best sci-fi movies ever made. But it sure as hell wasn't at the time. And this movie is now praised as one of the best westerns. But it wasn't at the time,
Yeah, certainly. Well, and also I think that when you have a rated R Western in 1969, you're going to be limiting also your audience, because back then they really wouldn't break the rules. I even remember that being the case. Like, if it's rated R, no kids. Like, so you are losing a large part of your audience when you have a rated R movie.
Yeah, you cut it in half because you can't bring your family.
Nope.
No.
And you shouldn't. You shouldn't bring your family to this. Even today, it is definitely not a kids movie at all. Stick with the old reruns of the Lone Ranger and John Wayne and some of those kid movies. True Grit was rated M. Really?
Oh, John Wayne described the Wild Bunch as distasteful. However, he did a movie called Big Jake later on, and he ripped it off.
Interesting.
And Wayne said it would have been a good movie without the gore. And he also didn't like Dirty Harry.
Well, yeah, just not his taste. Different generation, different style. It was a changing of an era. Wonder what a lot of people would have thought about Unforgiven. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Oh, here's what he said. Sam Peckinpah with the Wild Bunch destroyed the myth of the Old West for that movie. But yes, he did.
Yeah.
For good or ill, all the movies that John Wayne did were, we had like heroic characters in the Old West and stuff. That took a skydive when this one came out, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, in the 70s, it was a more cynical time. Someone suggested in some of the stuff that I read, but I can't source it properly, that it was supposed to be reflecting the Vietnam attitude. How things were getting more cynical. There was being less trust in traditional heroes, or even, that America was the good guys, that kind of attitude. And I could see how that would go hand in hand. Though this was 69 before some of the stuff.
Yeah,
Well, I
plus,
guess some.
the Wild Bunch goes to another country and does a massacre.
Oh. Though for the most part they had it coming. But indeed. they
Plus,
were
they're arming a dictator.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
there's a
maybe.
lot of yeah.
Yeah. I like I said, I just can't source it that was actually his intention, but it does make sense, I guess, when you think about it. Absolutely. Alrighty, well, we're at the 1 hour mark. So, Steve, you got anything coming up?
A top 10 stream with Mara on it's next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Top 10 favorite movies of 2005. That is favorite movies, not necessarily the best. So, movies we just rewatched a lot that might not even be objectively good will probably make the lists. So, but and we only have a year left of that because we're stopping the annuals 2015, I think it is. And then, given how shit Hollywood has been in the last decade, we're just going to do one episode per 5 years after that, because we realized, when we looked at 2016 or 17, it's like we didn't have 10 favorite movies in there. And sometimes we hadn't even watched 10 movies because it was also shit.
Yeah.
So that will end in December next year. We'll be done. We've done every year from 1980 until now.
Wow. That's impressive. So that's
Yeah.
that's nearly 2 years of doing it, or just about 2 years.
No, it's more. We've already done 2 years.
Oh yeah, because you're 25 months. Oh gosh, you're right.
Yeah,
I can't.
because 2 years would be 24 years.
No, you're right.
Yeah. So actually, we've just done 2 years, because it would be 2004 would be 24 episodes.
Oh, well, okay, there you go. So everyone, please make sure you're subscribed to Jade Shadow and watch those. I think that, but you're right about the movies that come out that you can't really come up to 10. It was things were
Yeah.
shifting over to where the quality stuff was going to television.
Yeah, and we were yapping a bit, and I said, can you name 10 movies from 2019? And we were just sitting there struggling, and then we had to Google.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one and that one. But if you do the same with 1987, you can name 10 immediately.
Yeah. And name
So,
10, let alone your top favorite.
yeah,
You can't even do that.
1987 is actually sick.
Oh, yes. It's an amazing year. 2 thumbs up, absolutely. Okay. And tomorrow night, I'm going to be over on Prophet of the Dragon talking about the Wheel of Time because, yay, I don't have to worry about spoilers. I have finished, so it's just going to be general Wheel of Time stuff. And I've been avoiding some of these different channels, obviously, because I don't want to be spoiled. I didn't want to be spoiled. So now I will be going out into the world and doing some Wheel of Time streams on some other channels.
It's actually weird you
content.
never got spoiled.
It was a miracle I never got spoiled. To be honest, between the internet and some rando in the chat not doing it when I was doing my reviews. I mean, so well done, humanity, and well done, the internet. But I suffered a little bit from it because sometimes I would forget things or get confused, and usually I would Google it, but I could not do that because I knew the second I Googled something, I was going to get spoiled. So I'm thinking on my second reading, I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to be able to look up some things so that I don't have to worry about being spoiled. So I can keep track of what was going on.
I actually made a mistake of asking Grok if a book was good.
Oh.
And Grok just spoiled the whole thing. It's good because blah blah blah, and this ending was really popular. to describe the ending. Okay, thank you, Grok.
Oh
Go
yeah,
F
so
you.
confirmed. Grok is a jerk.
Yep.
Yeah, two thumbs down for Grok on that. Yes, well, because you could forget some of the characters in Wheel of Time, or it's like, when did that happen? Or sometimes you wouldn't see characters for 2 books later. But look, I told you, I just couldn't go to the wiki.
Yeah. So I don't use Grok a lot because I hate AI.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured I'd try. Hey, was this is this book considered good, right, by
Mm-hmm.
fantasy fans or something? And I got a synopsis of the whole story, and
That bastard.
the ending, and has a heartbreaking ending when blah 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 gets stabbed or something. And I was like, okay, then, so I don't really have to read it.
Yeah, it's like, well done. Yeah. So what? Be careful of AI. But yes, the fact that I was able to read 14 books, about 1,000 pages each, and did not get spoiled. The only spoiler was one that you did accident, but it was an accident. It
Yeah,
wasn't a major spoiler
yeah,
because you got confused about when something had actually happened. But
yeah. I wasn't sure. I thought something happened a lot sooner.
yeah. But at the end of the day, it was also something that a person could have seen. So if you have not read The Wheel of Time, read The Wheel of Time. Don't watch the garbage TV show. If for no reason, yes, it got canceled because it sucked. But also, of course, it was, terrible. Just terrible. Just total waste of time, total waste of money. Almost as
Yeah.
bad as that awful Battle of Hastings, King and Conqueror. Don't watch it.
Well, it's kind of like, even if they had stuck to the source material in the Wheel of Time show, it would have still been bad. It was just bad everywhere. The casting, all of it.
Oh, yeah. So even if they'd follow the story, well, casting is actually very important, and that's one of the reasons why I believe that the new Harry Potter thing is not going to work out, because of their casting. Because you've got to get the right cast, you've got to get the right sets, and you've got to have a good screenplay. That's the other thing. Like, these people didn't have the skill and the writing skills to make it interesting, so of course it was going to fail.
Yeah,
But,
and the showrunner had decided early on that this show was all about his gay fantasies he had when he was reading the books. So
yep,
me, 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 and it turns
precisely.
out people aren't really that interested in the therapy couch of the showrunner. They would rather see the story.
Exactly.
And
It's like,
also,
save it for your streak.
the same thing happened with the Acolyte. It's
Mhm.
Leslie Headland's therapy couch.
Yeah, maybe even the Rings of Power to a certain degree. Well, all the things that suck, that's just what it is. They suck because the self inserts, it never works at all. So, yes, please continue, everyone, watching good entertainment. I want to thank Charlie Stevenson. He's been here the whole time. Thank you for being here. Philip Prays for You with Metal has been here, and people have been coming in and out. I've been seeing you. So thank you for those of you that are watching, and those of you that will be watching on the replay. And please tune in to Prophet of the Dragon tomorrow night. And I'll be continuing with my Harry Potter read, chapter 3. I haven't read chapter 3 yet, but I will be doing it. Wish I could have a more regular schedule, but life is not allowing that to occur. So, thank you, Stig, as always. And have a great day, everyone. Have a great day. And be certain to watch good entertainment, not entertainment that is complete garbage. Oops, wrong button.